Happy day, fantastic people. I hope you're doing well. I haven't been sleeping much lately. Not because I'm troubled or anything. It's just because there's so much to do with these Epstein files. I don't know if I found the smoking gun or if this is just another story of corruption. And of course, Harvard is involved. Of course, right? It wouldn't be a scandal if Harvard wasn't somehow involved. But mainly Oxford. Mainly Oxford. And possibly Bill Barr. Don't get me started on Bill Barr. Anyway, I'm going to go through this file with you. And I would like for you to help me figure out if this is what happened to Epstein. If he snuck away to Tijuana. And then from there, who knows, right? Who knows? Sky's the limit. You know, it does make sense because that drone footage, like he could have gone to Tijuana and then flown over to his island because somebody did capture him on the drone on the island. Supposedly, right? It looked just like him. And they ran from the drone into like a shed.
But now, stunning revelations out of Israel have blown the lid off the official story. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself because Jeffrey Epstein never died. Insiders say Epstein, always an intelligence asset, wasn't just a predator, he was a weapon, a blackmailer, a handler, a tool of the CIA and Mossad. And when exposure threatened the operation, they didn't kill him. They extracted him. Body swap, staged death. Destination, Israel. Now he's back in business, running blackmail ops for Israeli intelligence on behalf of the globalists. And here's where it gets dark. Top US intelligence officials, once screaming for justice, are suddenly going quiet. Or worse, changing their tune. Straight-faced denials that defy reason. Evasive answers.
That I was being filmed. I was being watched 24/7. There were cameras all over the island.
Because when you're running blackmail ops for the Alphabet
director, he wasn't CIA director at the time. He was Barack Obama's Deputy Secretary of State. William Burns was working for John Kerry at the State Department and meeting with Jeffrey Epstein, a known pedophile. And then
huge enterprise of child trafficking within the reports sent. This report is in regards to the money laundering and money movement of Epstein Clinton Foundation money via Anthony Rodham, using an account named Stephen Ross of Winster Equities over many years.
A body that didn't look anything like him under closer inspection, but did look exactly like Hillary Clinton's brother, Tony Rodham, who died weeks earlier. The US government, led by Attorney General Bill Barr, rushed to label Epstein's death as suicide. A Zionist Jew, as some call him, Barr has a deeply telling family tie. His father, Donald Barr, hired the young Jeffrey Epstein as a math teacher at Dalton School back in the 70s, despite Epstein being totally unqualified for the job with no college degree. Oh, and Donald Barr? He worked for the OSS, the precursor to the CIA. Coincidence? No such thing. All back in the 70s, despite Epstein being totally unqualified for the job with no college degree. Oh, and Donald Barr? He worked for the OSS, the precursor to the CIA. Coincidence? No such thing.
Jeffrey Epstein used to teach math at the Dalton School in New York. The guy who hired Epstein, even though Epstein dropped out of college and was only 21 years old at the time, was Donald Barr, the father of Attorney General William Barr. Epstein would be let go and Donald Barr would resign as headmaster in 1974. In 1973, though, he wrote a book called Space Relations. Get this. Space Relations is a science fiction novel about a planet ruled by oligarchs who perform child sex slavery. Doesn't that sound familiar? Fast forward 46 years into the future. Jeffrey Epstein is taken into custody, and Bill Barr is the Attorney General of the Department of Justice. Epstein commits suicide under Barr's watch, and Barr removes the U.S. Attorney on Epstein's case. Hey, Bill, what are you hiding?
I think we do know. I think we know exactly what he's hiding and who he's protecting. And I think it's time the world knows exactly who Bill Barr is. And then you know what? We can talk about Ruby Ridge. We can talk about Waco. We can talk about all of his crimes. And we can get some real justice for some real victims and survivors once and for all. Anyway, I say that because a Tijuana doctor is mentioned in an email, is CC'd in an email to Epstein less than 2 weeks before his death by a Oxford grad who was looking for some money. So let's go through this and you let me know what you think. You know, I've gone back and forth whether or not Jeffrey Epstein was murdered or just escorted out. But after reading this, I do believe he was escorted out. I typed in our buddy Bill Barr's name into the Epstein library. And I found this little nugget. EFTA 0005641.pdf, dataset 9. Smith goes to prison. Flag as irrelevant. Bill Barr allegedly made secret visit to jail before Epstein's death. Something's not right there. But in reality, as a former federal prosecutor told Courthouse News, what's that all about?